Welcome to the Chew Brewer Stew podcast. Every other Sunday, we'll release an episode of the podcast featuring an interview with a business owner in the food industry. From restaurants, to breweries, to bakeries, and everything in between. We ask them about their journey and the process of becoming a successful business owner in hopes of helping others to do the same. I'm Mike Curtin, and the podcast starts now. Welcome to the Chew Brewer Stew podcast. My name is Mike Curtin. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you never miss another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to give us a follow on our social media accounts. All links to those and podcast platforms can be found on chewbrewerstew.com. Thank you for joining us for episode number 9 of Chew Brewer Stew. Today I sit down with Andres Castello from Cafe Esencia in Ridgewood, New York. Andres tells us about his grandmother's influence on his life and how his joy of food had pushed him into opening a place of his own. So here it is, episode number 9. I hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Mike Curtin. This is Chew Brewer Stew. Today I'm in Ridgewood, New York at Cafe Esencia with Andres Castello. Andres, thank you for being with us.
Yep, thank you for having me, Mike.
Appreciate it, man. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry?
Sure. So I studied hospitality management back in 2008.
Right.
The program was mostly focused on hotels, but I knew there and then that I definitely wanted to focus on food. Right. So I kind of tailored the program towards food and wine. I studied, I did my master's in restaurant management right afterwards. I did that. It was a 1-year program over in Spain. And it was technically innovation and restaurant management. So it was very avant-garde. And I realized there and then that I wanted to do something more traditional, something pretty simple, nothing with like playing with foams and
right.
things that explode and juices that, just like sublimate or do weird things.
Right.
And just growing up, I was surrounded by a lot of food.
Okay.
My grandma would always host in the summer. They're from Spain, from Cartagena, but they've lived all over. And she would host where there were 5 brothers on my dad's side, and 1 sister, and they'd just host everyone every year, and she'd be cooking for like dozens of people every single day.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was great. It would bring all of us together, a lot of delicious food. So I just grew up with that and knew I was obsessed with food. And I had a lot of positive reinforcement from my grandma on my dad's side. And then on my mom's side, everyone was also obsessed with food. Everyone goes out to eat all the time.
Right.
In Chile, my mom's from Chile. Like when sushi just got there, like things were just reaching Santiago. They're just completely obsessed. So I got a lot of exposure through them as well.
Gotcha.
Their passion. And just something about food, it brings people together. I feel like it's a common denominator. Everybody's got to eat.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure everyone loves to eat.
Right.
So, it's something it's easy to be passionate about.
Right. So the morale of your friends and family was when you decided to open this. How was it?
They all saw it coming. Some people were a little more supportive than others. But everyone overall definitely knew that it's the path that I was going down, so they're happy to see me to do it. My dad is a businessman, so he was very conservative about how to go about things. He insisted I needed a partner, that I should have an extremely well-developed business plan. I never found that partner, and that's something he always warned me about. And he was right, but it's something that I felt like I couldn't keep on waiting for in order to do what I wanted to do, so I kind of took the plunge.
Right.
So morale, there's definitely positive, and the warnings were heated, but I went through with it anyways.
And how'd you go about finding the capital to fund this?
And so it was all my capital to begin with, and then everything that the bank could loan me. And I surprisingly was able to secure a big loan from the bank. I don't know why they approved it, but they did. And I also got funding through the city once they saw that I put all the capital that I had in through small business services, and now I'm just working to pay all those loans off.
Right. Of course. So how long have you been in business here?
So it's been a year and 8 months now.
Year and 8 months.
Yep.
And What would you say was one of the biggest lessons you've learned so far that you've taken away from this?
There's so many lessons that you have to take a moment to think about which is the biggest one. But I think there's way too many lessons to narrow it down.
Right.
But working with people, it's super important to have like good energy.
Right.
I've been extremely fortunate with the people on the team. We have someone who's been here literally since before the day we opened.
Really?
And I'm used to like really high turnover. All the restaurants I worked in.
Of course.
There's some people who'd been there for a year or two, but most people would like come and go every 3-4 months. And everyone here has been around for more than 6 months already, so it's been good.
So it's something you thought you'd never have to deal with in this industry?
I don't know, I feel like I was pretty prepared.
Yeah.
I chose to open up a coffee shop. I think what I was not prepared to deal with was like drunk people.
Okay.
So I chose beer and wine because I'd never worked at a bar before.
Right.
I've been in many bars, so like I know what happens.
Right, of course.
But I just didn't want to deal with any of the complexities of like drunk people, angry people, or fights. But there's still a few that kind of trickle into the cafe trying to get hard liquor. We just don't offer that. So I think that was like something I definitely was not expecting to have to deal with, but it happens from time to time.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say the hardest adjustment for you would be?
Well, at the beginning, it was definitely the schedule.
Right.
I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
But since it is a coffee shop, we definitely have to be up bright and early.
Right, for sure.
Now it's not a problem at all. But that's like 1.5 years in.
Right. Kind of trained your body for it.
Yep. And surprisingly, I got used to it. Wasn't expecting to do so.
What qualities would you say you possess that make you a good business owner?
I think that's a hard question to answer. I'd like to think that I'm perceptive. I was trained in different restaurants. I was at a Michelin restaurant down in Alita. Kind of the training there is that you had to be really stealthy. The goal is to anticipate people.
Right.
So if you see the water glass is empty and the person's reaching for the glass longingly, like you have to bring water.
Kind of hawk your tables.
Yeah. So I love it when I'm able to like anticipate someone needing a napkin, or I see someone looking around for something, and when I bring it over, they act surprised and like, oh my god, that's just what I wanted. It's really satisfying, so I try to work on that.
Who inspired you the most?
Like I said earlier, it's definitely my grandma.
Okay.
She has the patience of a saint, and just cooking for so many people,
right,
day in, day out. It takes a lot of patience. So it's definitely a role model there.
Okay. Was there a defining moment for you of success, or that you realized like this is working?
I think there's many defining moments, but you can't get too comfortable because it comes and goes.
Right.
So as soon as you think that everything is going right, there's going to be 5 things the next day that go wrong. So there's been many days where like the cafe's completely full, everything's working well, and suddenly like the dishwasher breaks, and it's
lovely.
Yeah. So you just I warn myself now. If I feel that everything is going well, I just I enjoy it, but I also anticipate whatever's going to happen next, so it doesn't catch me.
One day may be a shitstorm, one day may be perfection.
Yep.
So, right. Do you have any strategies for marketing?
It might not be the best strategy, but I don't pay anyone. I don't pay businesses targeting me to advertise on their platform. I don't pay influencers. I don't pay people.
Okay.
So all of our followers are organic. It's people who found the cafe either through a friend or a follower, or through one of our hashtags, or people who just walk down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
So most of your marketing is done through social media then?
Through social media, yeah, and like no paid advertising.
Right.
I don't know about most people, but personally when I see a paid advertisement, I go out of my way to avoid that business.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a personal thing. I know some people do it as well, but yeah, I specifically, like, I go out of my way because I don't want to be, yeah.
Okay. And how did you choose the ambiance for the design for your shop?
I want it to be light and bright.
Okay.
I feel like coffee shops very typically kind of get a little dingy, a little dark, which is nice if you want something very mellow, but I feel like there's already a lot of that. So I wanted something to contrast. So a lot of, we have a skylight up here, huge windows, we have windows in the back, the kitchen is open, yeah, there's a lot of light.
Yeah. And
then the color is just very Mediterranean. We have the tiles, the walls, everything's...
I like the walls a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
We got some olive, some yellow, blue, some water.
And how do you stay ahead of your competition?
I think, again, like, it might not be the best business strategy, but I try to just focus on what we're doing here. I feel like it can be draining to try to see what everyone's doing. I know a lot of restaurants you end up seeing the same dishes everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. So I try to focus, have an idea of what my neighbors are doing, but focus on what we're inspired with and have that be our main drive. Right. Instead of, like, I feel like if you're always trying to one-up your neighbors, then it just ends up being really draining.
Right. So you said you'd only been open for about a year and 8 months now. Is there a need for a mental break from everything?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Always.
And how do you handle that?
Well, I recently started doing yoga. I feel like it's very helpful.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Any exercise, any sport where just like your body's physically involved and, like, you don't have time to think about things. Right. I think it's great. And then just time outside of the business. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, when it's empty and there's no one here, I think it's great. It definitely, it's the space itself is, like, refreshing.
Right.
So,
calming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you don't have to work, you can still be in the space and be calm.
Okay. And any tips or pieces of advice you would give to somebody looking to open their own place?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm advising myself right now, but definitely, like, as my dad said, have a team where you can complement each other. Having a bookkeeper is absolutely fundamental.
Okay.
You can't skip it, and if you don't know how to do it, like, you're not going to learn on the job.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know if your passion is, like, drinks and you want to have food and someone who can focus on the food. It's just someone to balance what your strengths are.
Okay.
Yeah, even if it's one person or two people, it's just good to round it out.
Right. And the book, as far as going for a bookkeeper, how did you go about finding that?
Well, luckily I have a friend who found me.
Okay.
And he's like, I think you need some help. And I was like, yeah, I definitely do.
I feel like that's got to be somebody you trust, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and did you have a funny story for us?
I do. It's the reason why we're open on Mondays. When we first opened up, we opened up in May, but, like, towards the summer, I was coming to the cafe on a Monday to just, like, tidy things up, and I saw this woman, like, stomping outside, like, really, really loudly. And I go up to her, I'm like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? She's like, you guys aren't open. I'm like, no, it's, there's a sign on the door. It says we're closed on Mondays. Did you want to get anything? Like, I can make you a coffee. And she wanted churros for the beach. She was, like, absolutely furious. And I never realized someone could get so upset over not having their food. So we opened up on Mondays from then on. Kind of why we're open on Mondays.
It's pretty funny. All right, man. Well, Andres, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
All right. I'm here, Andres, here at Cafe Esencia in Ridgewood. Mike Curtin, True Brew Stew. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, so that was the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you were able to take something away from that interview, as you will with every interview. Special thanks again goes out to Andres Castello from Cafe Esencia in Ridgewood, New York. If you're ever strolling down Forest Avenue in Ridgewood and need a quick pick-me-up, or just have a sweet tooth, be sure to stop by Andre's spot. His churros are well known and the lattes are amazing. Every other Sunday I'll be posting a new podcast, so stay tuned and like I said, subscribe and you'll never miss another episode. Don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts for video clips of the interviews. Also, if there's something you're curious about knowing from the owners, then I want to ask it. You can message me directly on the True Brewer Stew Instagram account. Once again, I'm Mike Curtin for True Brewer Stew. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.